PSG's opening goal was the perfect example of what makes Luis Enrique's team special. A through ball in behind the defence to the right winger cutting in behind on the left, and finds the right back in acres of space with an open net. None of the players are where they started, but all of them are exactly where they need to be. It's easy to miss just how many positional rotations are in this team, whether it's Dembele rotating all over the pitch, or Vitinha filling in for the fullback when building their attacks. And it's the main reason why no team in Europe could match the incredible tactical system Enrique has created at PSG. There was absolutely no competition in the final and Inter were outclassed all over the pitch. And to understand why this performance from PSG was so incredible, we need to look no further than the opening 20 minutes, where you could already see the control they had in possession and the relentless press that gave Inter no time to build their attacks. PSG's intentions were clear right from kickoff, instantly playing the ball out for a throwing and applying pressure in Inter's half. And for the majority of the first half, Inter sat in a deep 5-3-2 shape. Thuram and Martinez would look to close down the centre-backs, and the three midfielders would screen any balls into Dembele. This works great on paper, but unfortunately for Inter, PSG play nothing like this, and their rotations mean they basically never resemble the 4-3-3 they start their matches with. At the back, PSG will always look to keep a line of three in possession. At times, this is formed with the centre-backs and the left-back Mendes, but most of the time it's one of the midfielders, usually Vitinha, that will drop into this pocket of space on the left. A subtle rotation that unlocks so many options for PSG, as it frees up a gap in the centre that can be filled in different ways, which subsequently frees up more gaps as you move up the pitch. Firstly, it means Mendes can push forward either on the wing or in the half space to give support to Kvaratskhelia. This allows PSG to instantly have two players out wide on each flank, meaning as they circulate possession from side to side, it was nearly impossible for Inter's wingbacks to effectively close them down, and were consistently getting overrun. We can see, for example, in this clip from the first 10 minutes, as PSG rotate from side to side, Inter's wide centre-backs are forced to come off their line to help out. But as this phase of possession continues, it eventually leaves gaps in behind the wingbacks and the defence that PSG can easily move into. Because Inter's shape would force play out wide, it meant most of the progression from PSG would come from these positions, and would slowly move further and further up the pitch. From here, it was total control from PSG. They would keep players out wide on both flanks to stretch the pitch, and there were an incredible amount of rotations in the centre. In Enrique's system, the key focal point in attack is Dembele, who is not fixed in the centre and he can move all over the defensive line and even into the midfield as PSG rotate. And as he moves, the players around him also adapt and pick up the vacant spaces. So it doesn't take long before all the players are in completely different positions from where they started. And this is exactly what we saw with PSG's opening goal. The move starts by regaining possession high up the pitch thanks to their press. From here we can see how the players have already rotated slightly, with the right winger Doué now playing down the middle and Dembele in the right half space. Kvaratskhelia pushes forward, and it seems as if Inter's instructions were to double or even triple up on the Georgian winger, because the whole of Inter's defence and midfield gets packed into the box. A quick combination with Fabian Ruiz and Vitinha can receive the ball with no player ready to apply pressure, as Inter have fallen too deep into their own box. A perfectly timed run from Doué into the space, and Inter cannot stop this pass into Hakimi, who finishes off the move brilliantly. This early goal set the tone for the rest of the match, and the instant Inter needed to push slightly further up the pitch, they were quickly exposed to the speed at which PSG can counter. The second goal seemed to highlight that Inter were mentally exhausted and distracted in this match. It all starts from Barella trying to win a corner but is easily kept in play by PSG. And from a position like this, there's not much you can do. The ball quickly moves forward from Kvaratskhelia into Dembele, who switches play into Doué on the back post, and his shot deflects off Di Marco's foot, who doesn't face the shot head on and is not able to intercept it properly. Now, while PSG were perfect in possession, it was their pressing shape that was arguably the reason why they were so dominant in this match. In Inter's semi-final clash against Barcelona, one of the biggest criticism Hansi Flick's team received was their use of a high line and how it left them exposed to Inter's style of play. But PSG did the exact same thing. The only difference was the intensity with which they closed down the goalkeeper. In fact, Inter are a team that are fluid in possession. Players will rotate and pick up different positions, and they can quickly expose teams with their rotations. But for this to be possible, the goalkeeper Sommer needs time on the ball to drag the opposition's press out of shape and find the right pass. And last night, Dembele gave Sommer no time to make a decision. The press was relentless, and he sprinted towards the goalkeeper for the entirety of the time he was on the pitch, which forced Inter to do the same thing every time. Either try to beat the press and play out from the back, only to realize you have no free options ahead of you, or play the ball long over the top into Thuram and Martinez. Generally speaking, these two players did a decent job at winning some of these aerial duels, but because there was little support around them and the rest of the PSG defense would instantly drop to cover any runs forward, these attacks quickly vanished into nothing. The only real threat from Inter going forward was when they gained a corner or a free kick in a deep position. But even from these positions, PSG were able to defend extremely effectively. Statistically speaking, Dembele didn't really complete any high regains, but if it wasn't for his effort and intensity to rush every single pass at the back, the story today would have been completely different. Once it was 2-0, Inter was stuck between a rock and a hard place. Try and build out from the back and just end up going long every time, or try and press PSG high up the pitch and become increasingly exposed to transitions. And well, that's exactly what happened in the second half. PSG was still able to exert a level of control in possession that is rarely seen in such a high-stakes game. And in the second half, as Inter would try and push forward, they kept leaving bigger and bigger gaps between the lines. Doué's goal to make it 3-0 demonstrates this perfectly. Vitinha moves the ball into the centre, and Inter are out of balance in the press, trying to close down the players ahead of them but not aware of the gap in behind. And because Dembele doesn't play on the defensive line, he can receive the ball and drag an Inter centre-back out of position. And with a brilliant backheel pass finds Vitinha on the overlap, swiftly moving the ball out wide into Doué, who finishes off the move. It's a testament to PSG that when I first watched this goal, I was convinced it came from a counter-attack. Yet it was actually from their own structured build-up playing out from the back. Kvaratskhelia goal to make it 4-0 did come from a transition, while Mayulu's goal to make it 5-0 was once again after a structured move through the lines and into the box. From the control in possession, the relentless press, and the speed of the transitions, this was one of the most controlling performances I've ever seen in a major final, and they made Inter look like a seriously inexperienced squad. PSG definitely came into this match with more time to prepare as they'd already wrapped up Ligue 1, while Inter did have to fight to the final day of the season and ultimately fell short in the Serie A as well. But I think this game is more of a testament to the incredible work Luis Enrique has done not only to develop a great tactical system, but a cohesive unit of young players all working together and all sacrificing themselves for their teammate. And his work on mentality and the psychology of each individual player has paid off in the biggest way possible. But what did you make of this final? Leave your thoughts in the comments down below. And if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe for more. Thanks for watching.